Hi guys, it's me, Danielle Danibuttons, and I'm here today with a different sort of video. I'm gonna do some watercoloring. I love watercoloring. I think you guys like watching me watercolor, but I'm doing something that has been requested of me multiple times that I don't think I've ever done on camera, which is watercolor in an Amazon printed book. So Amazon printed books are known for their Amazon quality paper, which is not always the best. So I've had people ask if I watercolor in these books too, and yeah, sure. Why not? We can water in anything. We can watercolor in anything. So this is going to get crinkly. That's the difference. But let's go through our supplies and what we're doing, and then we'll talk about it. Off to the side, I have my paint cup with my paint puck. It's just a silicone like matte thing that helps wash off your brushes. I have my paints themselves. This is actually 4 different packs of Prima watercolors in one giant palette. I think I'm mostly going to try to stick to the vintage pastels for this page, but we'll see. Maybe some of the decadent pies also. So that's that. I guess I can keep this open off to the side. Palette is a little bit bigger than I'm used to because they all used to be in their own individual palettes. See, all right, so I always put my palette on my left side and then I have to reach across. But the problem is if I put it on my right side, my arm can't go there. So I apologize if I'm end up reaching across. I also have a water brush. This is a Kuretake water brush. This one's new to me and it is much better at water release than my old one. So I'm still learning a little bit. And then we have our book. This is Tiny Kingdom by Lila Alexander. I'm trying to stay on theme this month and coloring in untouched books. So I got this as a gift from my friend Deb at Miss Sweet's Crafting Therapy, and I have not yet colored in it. I'm going to be coloring this page, so let me get this open. And then we'll get right into it. Yeah, so I was thinking of attempting like the pastels with this would be nice. I also, on my computer, which is also off screen, have a picture of cattails, which is what I think these are. So I'm kind of going to go by that palette. So there's really no brown. I guess the terracotta could work, and I might just legitimately try to stay within these 12. Where is the terracotta? Wow, that terracotta is not gonna work. Well, I guess we'll just have everything be pastelier than expected. That's fine. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Basically, the only trick with watercoloring is learning how much water to use, and it really is just practice. So it's kind of annoying to say that when you're new and you want a tip, but you'll just get used to how much water you need to do things. Obviously, the more water you use, the thinner the paint is, and the less water you use, the thicker the paint is, but that's it. So for books like these, you're gonna want, you can do multiple layers, but you wanna let everything dry in between to try to save the paper as much as possible. So, and I'm not gonna be the neatest in the world because we don't need to be able to be covering things up with other colors. So I always put my brush down initially wherever I want it to be the darkest, and then we drag everything around from there, and it'll get lighter as you go, as you're running out of paint. So that's the gist of it. So we're gonna go pretty quick. I don't know. I don't even know if quick is the right word. So obviously you could do this watercoloring as a base layer and then go on top of it with pencils. I don't really do that. I just like the watercolor process, and to me this will feel finished when we're done, but you definitely could go back if you so chose. So these are not as brown as I wanted them to be. Originally I was like, oh, we'll just make it pastel, but I think I do want it a little bit browner. So once I do this, I'm gonna go back and put a little bit of a different brown on top to get a darker color. Then we'll talk about the woes of my left hand, which, yeah, that is a weird sentence to say, but my left hand has been having a rough week. So, 1 second though. Can you see? I hope so. I go a little low for now, and then we'll raise it up after. Okay, I'm just gonna take a light brown. I think this is. I'm gonna try to flip it so I can see all of my palettes at once. Chocolate, some chocolate, and we'll add some color to it. Yeah, so my left hand / wrist has been having a rough week. I have been known to hurt myself in my sleep. And I think that's what happened. And it is very foolish what I mean by hurt myself. I just sleep in weird positions and then it really hurts. So for a while in college, I think this is what happened with my left hand, but I would literally sleep on my arm in this position. And then when I wake up, I cannot move that arm. So that I think is what happened to my left wrist. It's been real bad, and I wore a brace for like 2-3 days. The same brace that I got in college when I originally started doing this to myself. So that was really not my favorite thing. I feel lucky that it was my left hand and not my right hand, since that's what I color with and do all the things. So I've still been able to be a person, but I've had to wear that brace for a few days because that was pretty bad. And I think I did it with my thumb. I've done it again on my right hand. I slept like this, and when you wake up, your thumb doesn't want to move anymore. So that also happened to me. And right now my thumb hurts pretty good. And it's just very, very silly. Like, why do I do these things to myself? Because it's not, sometimes it'll happen once, but most often it'll happen for like 2 weeks. And I just, when I go to sleep, put myself in those positions. And it's very strange. Another one, let's pretend these are my 2 legs. I'll sleep with them curved up, like almost extra. So then my ankles and knees will be killing me when I wake up, because that's not a normal sleeping position. So that happens. And then what else have I done? Yeah, the knee thing is terrible. I think I'm also, so like if this is my whole body and this is my left hand, I've been sleeping with it under my body for no reason. Like I literally like sit on my hand in my sleep. And again, that really hurts. So what? I don't know my plan or why any of that's happening, but that's what's happening. So I think I'm gonna mix. I'll mix it on camera. I'm gonna mix some of my sage green. Let's see. So when I'm mixing, I take extra water because I want to pull extra from here. I try to pick it up, put it in my mixing spot. Come on. Like I see it all pooling. Come to my mixing spot. And I'm gonna mix in some of its neighbor golden. This is not dark enough though, so I'm probably gonna have to put in a darker green also. Maybe this is gonna be real dark, but we'll do some key lime. Also, I used to get very nervous about getting my paints dirty, but they are pretty self-cleaning. So if you just clean your brush and wipe it off, it'll come off. But okay, I've made a green for all of my leaves. Yeah, and then most recently I broke, of course, I seem to only break my middle fingernails, but I broke it very, very, very low. So there's like exposed skin. So it's been a rough week for my left hand. And I feel sad for my left hand, but my wrist is mostly better. My thumb is hurting today, but I think that'll be fine. And we'll see how long it takes for the nail to grow back to a safe amount, but it's just crazy that it all happened at once. Let's see if Sam stops everybody from singing. Oh, maybe. I don't even know where the ends of these leaves are. I'm pretty much just gonna color everything with this green that I made. because why not? Again, if you wanted to, you can layer up different colors here too. I think you can tell the difference when I layered on that brown. It is pretty subtle, but that's really what I was going for. I personally have not mastered the watercolor look. Like, I try to keep everything pretty evenly coated, but obviously there is a whole technique that you want it to look watercolored at the end, but I'm just not good at that yet, and I've never like in the mood to try, because I do really just like the look of completely done, but I find it much easier to shade with watercolors than any other medium. So also, watercolors can really usually be used in any book, which is great. So that's why I always say, whenever we have like tags that go around or questionnaires, it's like, if you could only use one supply forever, what would you pick? I would pick watercolors, because you can use these in double-sided books if you so choose. 99% of the time, all right, I'll be lenient and I'll say 95% of the time they won't bleed through, especially as you are learning how to work it. They will get your paper crinkly, but I kind of like the crinkles. There are a few books that I don't want the crinkles in, just because for whatever reason I like think of those books as highly esteemed books, but 95% of my books I do not mind, because I like the effect. So it's kind of hard to see what's going on and what's actually leaves and what I'm just painting randomly, but that's okay. Like, a lot of this is just flowers floating places. Sure. I was actually going to use my Kuretake paints, but then I thought this palette would look good. And I like it so far. We're obviously still real early, but so far so good. As you can see, I don't wash out my palette right away, because sometimes if I've mixed that color once, I'll realize that I need it again. Or sometimes it'll be a good base for whatever I'm trying to mix next. So, but if you want to clean out your palette, it's really easy. You just wet it down and wipe it until it comes clean. So, and that's the other thing with watercolors, is they're so versatile to make whatever colors you need. As long as you have your red, yellow, and blue, you can make anything. So I barely need to have all 4 of these packs, but more can't hurt, really. Okay, so let's look at our flowers and our color palette and see what's going on. I think I'm gonna do dark rose for these guys, and then potentially like periwinkle or breezy for these guys. I just think that'll be fun. Difference. Or maybe the mauve. So do the dark rose and the mauve to keep it more, yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Okay, so I'm just washing my brush next to me. So let's do the dark rose first. Yeah, my brush is pretty wet, so you can just keep drying it off. Or again, just in the beginning. Oh, there's 3 types of flowers. Well, I'm gonna start with this one anyway. Oh, see, there's too much ink on my... So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the insides of all the flowers as I go, because that's where the darkest paint will be, and then as the paint starts getting lighter, I can go back and do the outsides. What's nice about watercolor also is that it's pretty movable, so even if you let it dry completely and then you're like, ooh, I don't like how that's looking, you can usually get back in there and make adjustments. So either by pushing around what's already there or layering on. So what else is going on? I have some potential new house things news, new appliance news, but I think I'm gonna wait until the next video or two to let you know when it's more definite. So I don't know if that's a teaser of things to come. As expected, my June videos are not thriving as much as those collection videos do. So June is always like the hardest month for me as a YouTube creator, whatever, because in May I do those collection videos and my channel goes crazy. And then in June, we're back to normal. And it hurts a little, it stings, but it's just the ebbs and flows and the way things go. So, what else is going on? I don't know when the last time I talked was. Today is Wednesday. And yesterday I filmed my desk tour. So I didn't do any personal talking in that one. And then the weekend I didn't. So what did I do this weekend? I can tell you what I did yesterday. Okay, yesterday Sam and I went to a Daiso. He actually had a work function that he had to go to physically for, like, he's essentially meeting some of his coworkers that he's had this job with for 1.5 years because they don't work in the office still. And they finished quicker than expected. So he essentially had a half day. So what we did with our time was we went to Daiso, which is a Japanese dollar store type thing, except everything's $2 or more, so it's not necessarily a dollar store anymore, but okay. And we found out there's like a second one nearby us, because I always talk about this one that also has the market and the bookstore, which is where I've gotten lucky with some coloring books before. But that one is in right next to New York City. And by New York City, I mean the bridge. The George Washington Bridge. And to get to it, you have to essentially pretend to be going over the bridge for almost the whole trip. And then right at the end, you turn. And because of that, it is really hard to get there, like traffic-wise, because there's always traffic to get over the bridge. So we did not want to do that yesterday, so we went to the second one that we randomly drove by and didn't know existed. But I had some okay luck. I got some fun stationery bits and bobs, and then they also have an H Mart, which I think H Mart is Korean market, not Japanese, but I could be wrong. I know this particular one had like specifically labeled aisles for Chinese, Japanese, and Korean snacks and foods and things. So yes, but we went in there too and we got some snacks, and they're very exciting snacks. So I'm just gonna kind of wash. I want this to be purpler. This is not what I want color wise. Like this doesn't feel like my swatch at all. Let's see if I like go near some purple and just dab it around in there. I think that helped. Again, I just really hope you can see. It also, I don't know, it doesn't look very purple. So I'm just gonna wash it then with whatever the natural color is. Let me get some extra water. Swish it out a little bit. And then while it's still wet, I will take my other color and kind of mix it in. Yeah, so we got some fun snacks, including Korean corn dogs, which is, the ones we got were like actually mozzarella cheese. I don't know why they're called Korean corn dogs, but it's like a corn dog shape, and then the top half is mozzarella cheese, and then the bottom half was like a rice cake, and then it was like in rice flour. It was so good. Like, I have seen them listed in different it's a chain called like Mochi Nut, and it's mochi donuts, but then they also sell these corn dogs, and I like have seen them online, and I've always wanted to try it. And now I did, but it was like you have to put it in the air fryer, but it was delicious, and now I'm very intrigued to try more because they have like fun flavors, and they have ones that's like covered in potatoes. I don't even know, but I would like to try that more someday. And then I also got corn flavored ice cream. I love corn flavored things. So I got corn flavored ice cream, which I have not tried yet because it was just yesterday. But they're like ice pops that are apparently sweet corn. And I've had corn flavored ice cream from our local ice cream shop before, and it's delicious. And it had like kernels of corn in it. And I love it. So Sam's always like, you're weird, this is weird. But I think it's great. So that's that on that. What else did we get? I got some boba tea. I've been obsessed with boba tea recently, like obsessed, get it 2-3 times a week. I mean, sometimes I'm like, oh, I get too much boba tea. But then I think I don't drink coffee. I don't drink soda. I don't drink anything. So if I want a boba tea every once in a while, I'm not going to make myself feel bad about it. Like I know some people go to Starbucks every single day. I do not do that. So I'm like, I'm going to accept my boba tea addiction and be good with it. But they had cans of boba tea, so I'm very scared because again, I didn't try this, and I don't really get it because when I do my regular boba, I like drink all of the pearls as evenly as I can, and I don't know how you're gonna do that in a can. And then I ended up trying, or I purchased, it was like 2 cans for $5 or something. So I got brown sugar, which is a pretty common flavor that I've had, and then I got honeydew, which I'm excited about. I also wanted to try banana, but Sam was like, you should just try one crazy flavor and one normal flavor. So I was like, all right, that makes sense. So I got the honeydew, and I'm very looking forward to giving that a try too. So, and then I got turtle chips, which I've had before in Boston, actually, when we went to Boston for our 10-year anniversary, and like the local 7-Eleven had them, and they are not turtle flavored, don't worry, I would never, but they are like shaped like turtle shells, so they're these really cool layered chips, and they are also corn flavored, and they are also absolutely delicious. Like when we went to Boston, I think we were there for 4 days, and I got 3 bags of turtle chips. I had 2 while we were there and 1 to bring home. So those are really good. And then I also found peach flavored KitKats. And I love flavored KitKats. I'm obsessed. I really like KitKats are probably one of my favorite chocolates in general, even the regular ones. But the flavor ones are just so fun. I think it started when my mother-in-law, sister-in-law went to Japan. They brought back matcha flavored ones, and that was like game changer. So now I tried to find all of the flavored ones, and apparently Asia has so many more flavors than we get over here. So anytime I am at an Asian grocery store of any type, I will stock up on whatever KitKats they have. So these were peach. They had matcha also, but obviously they're my favorite. I've had them before, and I've also found them in other places. And they had strawberry, which I've had before. And then they had one more that I don't remember now. I think they had a coffee one, which even right now in the US, there's like coffee duo ones. So I went with peach. I've had one, and there is really good. It really tastes like peach. I've actually been finding some in the US sporadically. I had a blueberry muffin KitKat from Walmart. Delicious. Well, that one got particularly messy, but okay. Yeah, the blueberry muffin one was so good. And I've had lemon crisp, which was pretty good. I've had, like I said, the matcha, strawberry, and then we have the duos, so it's like half something else. Half mint, half dark chocolate, half strawberry, half dark chocolate, half coffee, half dark chocolate. And those are the ones you can get here. So I like them too. I just think it's so fun. Oh, I had a Fruit Loops flavored one, and I can't believe how much it tasted like Fruit Loops. It was crazy. Do you know how like Fruit Loops taste like dry? If you eat dry Fruit Loops, you could like, it feels dry. Like they made this Kit Kat feel dry. Crazy. So I gotta get a move on because I'm actually just filming on Sam's lunch break. So we gotta try to finish this page in about 5 more minutes. I think we can do it. That's the other good thing about watercolor is it's really easy to cover large spaces in a small amount of time. So again, if you were really into like, I do all of my Kirby books in watercolor, and I know a lot of people will do the watercolor and then they'll go back over it with pencils, which you definitely do, but otherwise just the watercolor works. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do the insides in, I think I'm gonna go for this apple color from my pie. Oh, that was not right. It's fine. It's a little bit too bright, but what's done is done. I feel like my swatches are all tricking me, but it could be because the swatches are on watercolor paper, and obviously this is not watercolor paper. So that's fine, that'll dry down. All right, let's do the pond. I can do the pond in the, well, I've done it now. The pond in Breezy. Nope, this is Periwinkle. So I'm gonna try to do it with just this one swoop of color. No, I'm gonna need a second swoop. We're absorbing these 2 swoops of color. Okay, I think that's enough. Yeah. All right, the house. So I guess I have to use stone gray if I'm keeping with this palette, or suede. Let me show you. I have suede and stone gray that I haven't used. I feel like suede could work. I'm gonna do suede and then maybe stone gray for the accents, but really it's the opposite. I can hear Sam walking around. He's gonna burst in at any moment. No, we have time. I think he said his next call is not until 4. I don't have my watch on. That could be a problem. Wake up, computer, and tell me what time it is. 3:20. Okay. Yeah, so those are all the snacks that I got from H Mart. So it was actually a pretty straightforward drive to get to this second one. So I would not be surprised if we go back in the future. Also, apparently like a Korean barbecue buffet opened right next door. Obviously it's the first time we were there at all, but while we were there, Sam saw that and was like, ooh, I want to do that. So I would not be surprised if we go back again sometime in the future. But I hope that we still get to go to the other one with the bookstore, because the bookstore sometimes has the coloring books, and that's all that I want. I'm a very one-track mind. Corn-flavored things and coloring books. That's not weird at all. This is cute. I like how this is coming out. I really, like when I saw this page, I was like, ooh, that's the one I gotta do. I don't know, I just thought it's so cute. I love that it's in a little bottle. It's like my favorite style of anything coloring is when it's like a little bit surreal. All right, let's do our stone gray for our accents. Our roof. This does not look gray at all. I've been fibbed too. This looks quite brown. In fact, if I had known it was this brown, I probably would have used this on our cattails instead. So, interesting. Should I do the whole door in the gray? I think I'm gonna I'll do the heart in like a pink. Oh, I hope, because I just went over it in the gray. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I go right over the details because it'll pop out at the end. So I have no fear. And I'll do the windows too. So, would you want to live in this tiny house in this bottle? What do you think? I do not want to live with a swan for a neighbor because I'm a chicken. So, no, probably not, but. All right, I'm gonna do Golden Glow, which is our yellow, for our window. Our windows. Just do that nice and quick. A nice glow coming out the window and the nose of our swan. Let's go back in. I'll probably do more apple since that was a bolder color than I was expecting. Oop, oop, bold, bold. All right. And then I think as our final touch, I'm going to go to the Decadent Pie and actually try to use this Earl Grey, which is just a metallic silver. And I'm gonna do the outline of the whole jar. So let's see. These, I do have to say that I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of these metallics. They're kind of hard to work with. So we'll see what we can do. And if this will work. This is way too much water, but we're just going quick. Yeah, the water's just kind of like staying on top because obviously it's not water paper. So we'll see. We'll see how this works. I just think it's so cute. I would visit this house in the jar. But I don't think I'd want to live there. I have always wanted to like go to a cabin for like a weekend. But I'm also very scared. I think I was talking about this recently in a video about like I've gone camping before, but then they have like quiet hours at night and I just don't go to sleep early enough to match with quiet hours. Ugh, once we went camping and it was quiet hours and I was afraid of the dark, so we decided we were gonna sit in the car because the car had lights, and then the alarm went off. And boy, is that even extra loud during quiet hours in the woods. So that was pretty embarrassing, but we obviously shut it as quick as we could. But big yikes. Okay. I think that's it. What do we think? So I will show you, I'll let that dry for a few seconds. Is my camera been slowly falling this whole time? I feel like it's at a different angle now, and I don't know if you could see that whole thing. So that's awkward, but let me move this out of the way temporarily. And then I will show you the whole thing, and you see the shine of the metallic a little bit. I mean, I think I really like it. So as you can see already, it is crinkled. The red went through because that was a ton of water. I don't know. Obviously, I shouldn't have used the dirtiest, this page. What are you called? Because we can't tell if anything actually hit that paper. But it looks like it shouldn't have. Again, I wouldn't use watercolor in a double-sided Amazon printed book because you can see a lot of ghosting, but none of this would have touched this page. So I am confident in that. But I think that's it. I like it. Let me know what you think. Do you use watercolor? Are you gonna try it in Amazon paper? Close the book and let's see. You can see it crinkle. It's an awkward angle, but you can tell there's crinkle, but now it makes cool sounds. I love this sound. That's so satisfying. So there we go. And I'm so happy to have another untouched book officially touched. So there's that. If you made it to the end of the video, our secret word is gonna have to be swan. I think there's also a swan emoji. So if you enjoyed, wait, what is it? Thumbs up. I always forget. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed. Comment anything you want to comment down below, including our secret word, swan. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm a fun time. I make lots of weird videos. Who knows what's coming next? I don't know. But thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again super soon with something new. And that's it. Goodbye, friends.